Let's be honest, the days where you just publish a game and watch how millions of downloads come in your way are over. Flappy Bird and similar games are one of a kind, and there aren't that many games who made it big like Flappy Bird without proper marketing. And I know there are people who will say a good game is gonna sell itself, but in the game world where people publish tens of thousands of games daily, it's kinda hard for someone to discover your game just like that. Which means that if you want your game to gain traction, you are the one who needs to do marketing for your game. And of course, this is easier said than done, especially if you never have done it before. So let's get into the nuts and bolts of how you can market your indie game with success for free. The first thing you need to know is that marketing is a combination of different skills like copywriting, psychology, audience building, and so on. So don't expect to learn everything in 1 month, and also don't think that if you don't know one part of marketing or the other part, that you will not be able to market and sell your game. I am saying this to reassure beginners who are just familiarizing with this concept that they can also do it. And the more you try, the better you will be and the more copies of your game you will sell. Also, everything that I'm going to list in this video as methods for you to advertise your game is assuming that your game is decent to play, or to be more precise, you actually created a cool game and not some knockoff that you copy pasted from a YouTube tutorial or some asset that you downloaded from the asset store that you're trying to put out as your own game. So let's start with the first method, and that is press coverage. And before someone thinks that with press I mean newspapers, no, I don't. With press, I mean game websites who review games and talk about games and game development in general. You will need to put a list of press websites and find their emails so that you can email them about your game. Of course, you will have to study carefully which website will be interested in your game, so you can't just send emails on random and hope that people will reach back to you. One of the things that you can do is see the reviews of games similar to yours on a particular website, and based on that, you will know will the website like your game or not. And then you can find the person who wrote that article via email or social media and contact them about your game. Also, don't get discouraged if you don't get many replies on your email, because it's not real that you expect all people that you message to write a review about your game to get back to you. So if you get a few of them to reply and write a review about your game, consider that you succeeded. The next step is the obvious one, but not that many indie game developers do it, and that is post on social media. Specifically, use the less popular social media like Reddit and Pinterest. When people mention social media, we instantly think about Instagram and Facebook, but there are a lot of people hanging out on Reddit and Pinterest as well. And you can use that to your advantage, as you have less indie developers posting about their games on these platforms, since they're occupied with posting on Instagram and Facebook. Do a little research about Reddit and Pinterest to see which posts blew up and got a lot of attention, and try to mimic those posts. If you succeed to get one out of your 100 posts to go viral, you will get a lot of eyeballs on your game, and they are potential people who will buy your game. This, of course, doesn't mean that you should not post on Facebook and Instagram as well, but given the fact that the majority of indie game developers are focused on those two platforms, you should focus more on Reddit and Pinterest, but don't ignore Facebook and Instagram. Another thing that I rarely see indie developers do is collect emails from people. Email marketing has been, and still is, one of the most effective ways to market basically any product that you want. You have the email address of the person who is interested in your game, and you can send them an email whenever you want. It's basically like people wishlisting your game with you and not on Steam. If you are wondering how you can get someone to give you his email, well, that is not that hard to do. You can have a simple website where you can give something for free in exchange for the person's email. The free thing that you can give is a demo copy of your game, or it can be a contest where you give a couple of copies of your game for free every week, or something else that you can think of. You can create gameplay videos and post them on your YouTube channel and tell people if they want a free demo of your game, they can click the link in the description, which will lead them to your website, and when they enter their email address, you send them the link to the demo of your game via email. Of course, the more you experiment with this, the more ways you will find to get people to give you their email address. YouTube is another great source of traffic, and probably the best one in this case. This is also something that only a few indie game developers are doing, and yet this is one of the most effective ways to build an audience of people. The concept is fairly simple. You create videos about your game and post them on YouTube. The videos can be gameplay videos, devlogs, or something else like talking about the difficulties you run into while you were developing your game. All these topics are interesting to watch, and that's how you will gain traction and familiarize people with your game. And what's a big plus in this case is that these videos that you post will stay on YouTube forever, which means that you can post a video today and in 1 year someone will find the video, see it, like it, and proceed to buy your game. Not to mention that you can advertise your website in those videos where people can go to download a demo of your game, enter their email address, leave feedback, and so on. So this is something that is definitely worth a shot. Now, I also want to mention some things that you should not do when you are trying to market your game. One of those things is reaching out to YouTubers and asking them to play your game, especially not the most popular ones who have tens of millions of subscribers. While you might think that I'm talking nonsense, I'm asking you to think just for a moment how many other indie game developers are sending messages to popular YouTubers asking them to play their game. Thousands probably. So you can assume that these popular YouTubers will very likely delete the messages without even opening them. That's why I recommend that you take another approach, which is instead of messaging them to play your game, try asking them to participate in your game. You can ask them to do some voice acting or some other activity for your game depending on their skill. That's how you will get close to that particular YouTuber, and after that, you can also ask them to play your game and post it on their channel. This is way more effective than just sending them a message, "Hey, can you play my game?" And while we are on the topic of YouTubers, another thing that you should not do is pay YouTubers to play your game. If the YouTuber doesn't have at least 500,000 subscribers, it's not worth it to pay them to play your game. And not only that, but they charge high fees. The more popular a YouTuber is, the more money he will request, and at the end, that never pays off. Let's say if you pay $20,000 for someone to play your game, and you end up selling only $5,000 from that advertisement, then you lost $15,000, which means if you have a couple of $1,000s in budget, it's better to do traditional marketing because that way you can get more people to download your game than by paying YouTubers to play it. Even if you spend that money to get people to your YouTube channel where they can see your game is even more worth it than paying a popular YouTuber to play your game, so keep that in mind. These were, in a nutshell, some of the ways that you can market your game effectively and for free. And as I said, the more you do it, the better you will get and the more people you will get to download your game. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, comment, and share the video for others to see. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I have a few links in the description of the video that will help you learn game development, so make sure to check them out. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.